Gutfoxx here. Today I am joined by the one and only Bengal. You guys might know him from his franchise series on MLB or his incredibly well done top 10 quarterback lists in the NFL on Twitter. Today we got the top 10 infielders in the game. We did outfielders with Cougs and pitchers with Chev, so we're rounding it out here with Bengal. How you doing?
Out of my element.
Why do you say that? You play a ton of MLB The Show.
I play Battle Royale. And honestly, the thing I was going to tell you is I have looked at this slightly through a Battle Royale scope.
I like
Now,
that.
I factored in ranked seasons as well. And also, because this is infielders, you could add in catchers and first base, whatever. They play in the infield. I, with my list, have done 0 catchers and 0 first basemen.
All right.
I think those positions are a little bit easier to find who's good because you don't really care as much about speed or defense. Maybe, arm behind the plate, but there are a bunch of different guys that can hit for power and contact at those positions.
Yeah.
Really a lot of first base. And there are also a lot of different guys that can play first base, like outfielders, like 99 Jock Peterson, for example. But I've decided not to include any of those guys, and I'm going with middle infielders and third base.
I would argue people at third base, there are third baseman and shortstop that are just straight up better than the first baseman we have in this game.
Also true.
Yeah, because it feels like first base has got a lot of people that there's no complete players at first base. It feels like there is at other positions in the infield.
Yeah, I guess if they came out with a really, really good Jeff Bagwell, which I know they did one highly rated Jeff Bagwell already, but that's kind of like the best combination I can think of contact power and speed.
Yeah, but he's awful.
I've never disliked him, honestly. I know a lot of people can't get over the stance. I don't really get it.
You like Bagwell, huh? I've never liked this swing either.
Historically.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, is it because he's got reverse platoon splits? He's better against righties and lefties?
That is the thing I like, but no, I just think he's always played well.
Huh. It's so strange with how people swing. A lot of people you'll do well with Bagwell and I won't. But a lot of people because when you step to the plate, and maybe we'll talk about Battle Royale. When you step to the plate in Battle Royale, what pitches are you looking for, or you're just gonna read and react?
I mean, it all starts with sit fastball, react to everything else. And I feel like this year in particular, the off speed is so easy to adjust to that I'm never going to chase a slider out of the zone away, righty. So I kind of just sit fastball inside and then take it from there.
Yeah, it's so funny. I go exact opposite. And Magunski's actually opposite of you too. When I had him on the beginning of the year, we talked about this. I sit off speed only on All-Star. On Hall of Fame, I'll sit fastball, and I gotta sit there because you literally won't catch up to it. But an All-Star, I'll always look for the bendy ones first, and then because people know they can't really throw fastballs by people in All-Star difficulty a lot of times. So I sit on the bendy boys and then react from there. So it's interesting that you have the exact opposite thought process, and maybe that's why I like the pull hitters because they do better. If I have to react back to a fastball, they have a larger inside part of the plate timing window than say whole field or opposite hitters. So if you're someone who sits fastball, because you're sitting that, you're going to be better for those inside pitches, so whole field swings are probably better for you.
No, I like the guys that pull the ball as well. I don't know. I just mentally, it's easier for me to go sit fastball, react to the slow stuff because you have more time naturally to adjust. Whereas with the fastball, if I get a fastball, I don't want to foul that pitch off ever. I don't want to ever miss that. A fastball to me, at least in Battle Royale, should be a home run 90% of the time.
Really?
If I get it on the inside part of the plate. So I don't like to, there's a fastball, I can cover that pitch. I like to do damage on that pitch.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, Bengal's a 12-0 BR guy. He's climbed to the top of the mountain multiple times. For those that are questioning if he's you're a franchise player. No. Bengal's a BR stud, especially on Twitch. I'll link his Twitch in the description, YouTube here also. So, all right, let's get to it. Top 10 list. Let's go honorable mentions first. Who do you got on your list for honorable mention?
So this is a player who's been unbelievable for me in Battle Royale, and I think his attributes would actually play in ranked seasons as well. It is Jonathan Scope. He's only a 97, so it's maybe not someone you'd initially think of as, okay, this is one of the best infielders in the game. And I know it's off with a weird start. You expect the 99s, but Jonathan Scope has pretty unreal numbers. 109 and 119 for contact against both sides. 97 and 111 for power, has 116 clutch if you're playing ranked seasons. And then he also has great defense. 86 fielding, 75 arm, 92 reaction. Can play second, third, short, and first, and has 64 speed, which isn't terrible either. He's got one of the better swings in the game. And even with no quirks, I just think he mashes. Have a 2145 OPS with him in 50 at bats, 11 home runs, 7 doubles, hitting 660. He just gets the ball in the air and drives it out a lot, even with not so great swings sometimes. He's just got one of those swings for me.
You also play at a very small park, right?
Nah, anywhere.
Really?
I'm not home team every game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, good old Johnny Scoop is I think I agree. I feel like, does he have like an uppercut swing, would you call it?
Yeah, I could definitely call it that as well. Like fastballs up, even up and away. I feel like he has the ability to pull. So maybe he does have that pull archetype or pull swing tendency.
He's on the Orioles, right? I didn't look.
Orioles, yeah, 97.
All right. Well, let me take a look at his swing. Is this a flashback one?
It is 2017 All-Star Game flashback.
How would I find Johnny? Where's Johnny Scopes right now as far as team? Do you know?
Flashback Orioles is a 97.
Yeah, but like I'm trying to look at his swing type in the regular rosters.
Oh, he's on the Tigers, I think.
That's right, because he's been a few teams, hasn't he?
Tigers, Orioles.
Is he on the Brewers? I don't know.
He was on the Brewers for 46 games and on the Twins for 121. Kind of forgot about the Twins.
I might have missed them. My screen's kind of bugging out on me. Anyways,
yeah, he's on the Tigers now.
So I can't figure out so he might just have one of those things, because like what's interesting is like he's got more contact than power, which means he's more of like a contact / normal hitter. Which power hitters are generally kind of guys that I like on All-Star. Like Ryan Braun's got lower contact than power, so he really like the exit velo according to the manual is higher for those type of guys. So it's interesting that good old Johnny Scoops there is.
Yeah, see, I agree with that usually. But I mean, he does have. I mean, 111 power against lefties is no joke, and
yeah.
You can see my numbers. I'm slugging 1460 with him. It's not like he's one of those slap hitting contact guys. I have 18 extra base hits out of 33 total hits, so I'll take that ratio.
Wait, where do we see the numbers?
I'm looking at it on my screen.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah.
Just my personal Diamond Dynasty results.
I have my camera set up from the bushes looking in on you, not behind you looking at your screen.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Any other honorable mentions?
I do also have 99 Jackie in there. I was looking for him in the Dodgers section earlier, but he's actually in free agents because of the NLB or NBL. And Jackie Robinson has maxed out contact and clutch, tremendous speed and fielding. Power is not terrible at 81 to 92. And he just has one of those good swings as well, I would say. Good quirks too, dead red breaking ball hitter.
How much do you look at quirks when you look at players?
A lot.
Really?
I particularly like first pitch hitter and unfazed, bigger PCI with either no balls, no strikes, or with 2 strikes. So I think those two can be game changers for players. Now, they're not the end-all, be-all. I think swing and attributes are more important, but they can take a card to the next level, in my opinion.
Now, the one I don't like is the first pitch, because I never get a pitch to hit the first pitch of an at-bat. Almost never is it a good pitch. And when you don't, and when the quirk is not active, right? If it's an active quirk, and it's not active, it's actually like a 1 or 2 minus to contact and potentially power. So that's why I don't really like the first pitch hitter. But I think breaking ball and dead red, because each one of them I think is +5. But when it's not a curveball, when it's not a fastball, it's only -2. So you're getting a +3 regardless of what the pitch is. So that one's not bad. That's not a bad combo. Yeah. So his contact's always like 128, which is kind of neat. Unless other quirks will play into it too. But regardless, yeah, Jackie's a good one. Jackie's like, I'd say 4-2. I don't love the power. Like, the crazy thing is, like, remember a few years ago where Ramon was like, yeah, if you have an 80 power guy and you get a perfect, it's going to be a home run. Now, obviously, this year we know center fields aren't that way, and it does feel like they nerf power. Like, what can you expect an 80 guy? Like, what's his home run ratio for you? Would you say?
I mean, it does really depend on the contact. There are guys who have like 60 contact, 80 power, where I feel like every time they come to the plate in BR, it's going to be a home run.
Yeah.
Like, for example, one of my favorite cards in the game is the Brewers 82 flashback Castanera. And he is an 82 overall. He has 109 contact and 105 power. I guess 105 power is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But even like his let me check his live series card. His live series card for
84.
me it is
84 power.
Is he a free agent?
I just looked at his name. Yeah, he's a free agent. I just looked at his name. He's at first base.
Yeah, I destroy with that card too. It's just if they have a good swing and the correct ratios, I would say they're just gonna hit really well regardless.
I mean, that's exactly what we were talking about was with regard to contact, balanced, and power hitters. You're right about the ratio. You want the ratio to be higher power on like All-Star to really get those, higher exit velos. So yeah, I think you've been a big fan of Keston for ages in BR. Who was your guy last year that you really loved?
I didn't really play the game too much last year, but 2 years ago, Trent Grisham was also really, really good.
Yeah, Grisham is exactly who I was thinking of. That's funny. All right, cool. I like your honorable mentions. I got a few honorable mentions. Maybe I'll put them at the end because I don't want to spoil my list because some of the guys are obviously like really good. So let's just go to number 10. My number 10, and you talked about you're not going to add him. I'm going to do Jock Peterson because he gets secondary at first base because I feel like with Jock, I'm not really going to use him in the outfield because of speed issues. He's 20,000 to 25,000 stuff, so not terrible. But I love his ratio on contact to power. And 62 speed, I guess it's usable, but at center field, I would not use that one bit. So he feels like a great first baseman to me, and especially at like more of the levels that I want to play at, All-Star, Hall of Fame, PCI is going to be fine. Clutch is 125 even, so he's even better contact on when a guy's on second or third base. So overall, I think Jock Peterson, one of the finest first basemen in the game.
Yeah, he's definitely sick. And a great swing, obviously. He's been a really good MLB The Show option for some time now.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. As far as Quirks, dead red, bad ball hitter. How much you believe in bad ball hitter?
A lot. Because, there are some times where I'm really swing happy, and I do just try to get pitches on the black. And your PCI doesn't shrink outside the zone the same way it does for players without that quirk. So I think it gives you a lot better exit velocities on the inside fastball and sinker. Because that sinkers, if you get it off the plate to a guy without bad ball hitter, I feel like it's an out a lot more often than it's a hit for somebody that has the bad ball hitter trait or quirk.
Oh yeah, it's like a sweet bailout button. Even though you've got a robot eye for the strike zone, some of us mere mortals might be swinging at more balls and sliders off the plate. And what do you think? Okay, what's the best pitch in the game this year, in your opinion?
To get outs?
Just in general, yeah, to get outs. Anything.
I mean, if it really, it's going to feel like a high break sinker is going to be the answer every single time. But I think the cutter is also in the conversation, depending on the matchup. Like righty, a cutter is right up there with the right or the best pitch in the game.
Yeah.
And depending on if you have an outlier fastball, the forkball is a problem. It just comes in way slower than it says it does. It feels like it comes in at like 50 miles per hour, according to my eyes. And I just, depending on the difficulty and the pitcher, I really can adjust.
It's crazy. Yeah, I agree. The forkball, I think change up style pitches, forkball, splitter, change up, circle change, that kind of stuff.
I think the forkball is on another level compared to the splitter and a circle change or regular change up. It's just there's something about it where I don't believe it's the velocity it says it is.
Really?
That's a conspiracy theory.
Funky things happen in the game. Things pop up. I'm trying to find who's the
John Donaldson has one.
Oh yeah, John Donaldson's got one. But I'm thinking about who's the closer for the Orioles. Why is the name blanking? What?
Well, Lee Smith I was thinking of, but Cardinals, Cubs.
No,
Fergie
Orioles.
Jenkins has a forkball too. Orioles closer?
Yeah.
Oh, right now,
Yeah.
Felix Bautista. He's got the splitter.
I'm looking for Bautista's card. Why can't I find him? And am I dumb?
Top live series card for the Orioles.
Yeah, but he's got. Oh, maybe he's lower overall than I was thinking. Oh yeah, Bautista's 97, 99, but he plays like a 99. He's got a splitter, and his splitter is insanely good. Bautista might be the best reliever in the game. I like this guy.
Hmm.
Have you pitched with this or faced Bautista yet?
I faced his gold card. I have not seen the 97.
Oh, okay. Yeah, even the gold card was a really good reliever for me. Like when I was using my spin the wheel squad. Sorry,
Yeah, the outlier fastball is a game changer because it sets up everything else.
yeah, and the splitter falls off a table too. Whoops, wrong screen. All right, you're number 10.
I have another interesting one, kind of along a similar line to Jonathan Scope. I've got the 99 DJ BC Raw, which no one calls him. I have the B Craw card, Brandon Crawford's 99 Incognito series. I think he's probably the most underrated card in the game. I have never seen anyone use it against me. I have never heard of anyone talking about him. He's had one of the better swings in the game for some time now. He's a lefty that can play in the middle infield. He's got 92 fielding, 84 reaction, 81 arm. The only downside of this card is the 40 speed, which you don't love, especially the way speed plays on this game. But it's not really going to be too much of a factor at shortstop, I don't think. And with 125 contact right, 103 contact left, and then a really sneaky 117 and 109 power right and left with 125 clutch, I really think he's a really good option on all difficulties.
This was literally I just left him off my list. I love this card, and the only reason why I don't have him higher is the 42 speed and the defense up the middle. I kind of want somebody to snake some balls there. But yeah, I'm batting 513 with him with an 1800 OPS. This guy destroys the baseball for me. The issue right now is that the game is very lefty heavy, and I obviously put Jock Peterson there too, and maybe I should have gone I both of them have really sweet swings. Both of them I think are extreme pull hitters. And Crawford, it's literally like you get that in your PCI and the ball, he's got like an uppercut. It's like going out of the park. So even though like he doesn't have like the ratio you'd think for like a power hitter, it's still going to go out of the park. But then the downside is there's a lot of lefty pitchers now. So it's tough outside of some positions. I can't feel like in ranked to have more than 2 lefties in my lineup because you'll be facing John Donaldson every single game. But 2, like the other pitchers right now that are really good are also lefties. Randy Johnson, for example, Scooble, who Chev liked. So, Sale, etc. But yeah, I like Crawford. Him against the righty is beauty. It's like a freaking Mozart in his prime.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
Who do you have for number 9?
My number 9 is another lefty. I went pretty heavy on my lefty love. I'm gonna go Schwarber at catcher. Now, he's a defensive liability. Okay. Don't care. I'm going to hit bombs with him regardless. What do you think about Schwarbs?
Another one of those guys like Jock Peterson, just one of the best swings in the game. It's just going to be the case. He hits home runs. If you have a card with decent contact, it feels like a done deal every time he comes to the plate. It has a really good chance to leave the stadium.
Yeah, I adore this card too. And that sneaky catcher secondary. You can also put it at first base too, but there's a lot more competition at first base. Oh, we're getting a lot of competition at catcher now, too. But anyways, Schwarber, I love him. I've kind of expressed my love of big power pull hitters. Who's your number 9?
I have, and I wish I could put him higher, but I have the 99 Alfonso Soriano. It's one of my favorite players growing up. I don't know if that plays much of an impact, but I think his attributes are also really, really good. And when you factor in the speed with the power, he just ends up playing really well. My only concern with him is I wish the swing was a little bit better. I feel like sometimes he's a little bit late to inside pitches, but for the most part, it's a card I've really thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, he's a 5-tool stud at multiple positions, and getting second base or the outfield is incredibly nice. I agree. Soriano, was it 2 years ago that he was like the live series reward, and that card was It was polarizing. I think Soriano cards are polarizing for sure. Was that 2 years?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It could be.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
The thing is, like, I feel like you remember everything. I feel like you're sandbagging me right now. Like, you'll remember some like a random ass player that played for like the Mets and the Braves in 1947 or something. Wait, no, that was before the Mets were a thing. 1969.
It's interesting. I've got a really good memory for players usually, but individual games and things like that, I am really, really not very good with. Like I'll have no idea who even played in the Rose Bowl 3 years ago. I could throw out like an educated guess maybe, but I have no memory of that. And I'm a huge college football guy. I just completely forget individual games. And, can I differentiate what happened between MLB 20 and MLB 22? I really couldn't. And I know that seems like, how can you not? It was just last year. I didn't really play the game a ton last year either. So, I mean, there are a lot of factors. I'm not going to make a billion excuses. It's just not a strength of mine.
Yeah, I agree. Making excuses is pretty bad. You're pretty bad at it. My excuses, I'm a father. You can do much better than that as far as excuses.
I'm a grandfather. That's like double the.
I thought you were only 38 in the spring. How are you a grandfather already?
Well, it's grandfathered in.
All right. My number 8 was Soriano. I agree. His swing is a little tough, but man, seeing these five tools of attributes is tough to pass up. So who's your number 8?
I've come across another card that I forgot about, and I do want to mention it, but I do want to leave him off the list because he bothers me so much.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to say the stats with him. They're going to seem real good, right? But I hate this card. I hit 635 with him in 63 at bats. Keep in mind, this is mostly Battle Royale.
Okay.
1952 slug, 2585 OPS, 26 home runs and 5 doubles out of his 40 hits. It's 99 Corey Seager, and I hate him. Lined out with him more than any other card. I feel like I square it up every time with him. So the fact that maybe he only gets to hit 6 out of every 10 perfects, hate him. I did want to mention that. I'm going to go with a different kaiju card. I'm going with David Wright of the Mets. Amazing card.
Yeah.
Really, really good speed for a guy that can play corner infield at third base. And just, again, one of those swings. When they were coming out with that program and then making him like one of the heroes or whatever, they made sure to juice him like crazy. Can play shortstop, has very solid quirks as well, and just a really, really good swing, really fun card to use.
Yeah, he's got more juice than Minute Maid.
Nice.
Yeah, I got David Wright. Like not too much higher on my list, but a little bit higher on my list than you have him. I agree. I mean, the thing is, the third base competition is so extreme. Even shortstop's got some incredible players, but like he is. I ended up not getting this card. I went Randy Johnson, but it's hard to pass on this too, especially at shortstop. 88 speed there. I think. Do you think he's better than Jeter?
Spoiler, no.
Ruin my own video. Maybe we should end it on a cliffhanger and then bring it back for a mid-season.
That's a good idea.
Conclude. Yeah, no, David Wright. I adore him. Quirks, they're whatever, but yeah, solid choice. I have him just a hair bit higher because I have a first baseman number 7, Vlad Guerrero Jr. at 7 for me.
Thought about it. He didn't make the cut for me, but because I didn't do first baseman or catcher, but he would have been on the list.
I think it's hard to leave him off in my mind because of 125 power. And now, do you feel like they nerfed power a little bit this year?
What do you mean by that? Just it's less, like you get less home runs?
Like how many times have
you
you hit
a little bit.
Like I've hit like with Murakami, with a lot of guys with 125 power, perfects with good exit angles, just die in center field. I feel like that wasn't the case in previous games as much. Now obviously we did all have perfect center fields die, but I feel like in 23 it's more than ever. Like it's almost like exit velos kept. Like I feel like with 100 power and 125 power, the exit velo cap is almost identical.
Yeah, 100%. And when you see, guys out there, I'm not gonna make any crazy guesses, but I'm gonna say that Ellie De La Cruz has made the cut for you.
Yeah.
He's a guy that's out here routinely when he's squaring up the ball, hitting it 110 off the bat. And I don't know about you, I don't really see a ton of 110 mile per hour exit velos in MLB The Show. It just doesn't happen. And what's the difference from a guy like, you know, Gary Sanchez or Judge or Giancarlo, who have some of these near 120 exit velos? You know, Vlad Jr., Pete Alonso, Ellie recently.
O'Neal
Like,
Cruz.
you can't get those in the game. And you might be able to get 108 with someone with 100 power, but 108 with someone with 125, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it definitely feels like exit velos are not where they should be in relation to IRL. But like when Coops
I
was here,
never see 110 plus. Never.
when Coops,
Sometimes foul balls if you're out ahead of them. But
yeah,
never almost.
he said
Perfect. At 100 off the bat sometimes. It's whatever. Go ahead. Sorry.
it is very frustrating. No, I agree. He thinks that's the way the developers kind of bring in elevation to stadiums. Like you'll see the higher exit velos at stadiums that have the higher elevation instead of like
I don't even
mapping
think
out.
that makes any sense.
Instead of mapping out air molecules and the differences in how spread out they are. He's just like, yeah, so at higher elevations, you get higher velos, basically.
Yeah, I definitely can see that.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's been proven or nothing, but that was his speculation, which kind of made sense. Yeah, I agree. So Vlad makes it for me. So I think basically 125, in my opinion, what I think it is, I think it basically widens the zone, widens the amount of chance that you have to really hit a home run-esque ball. If that makes sense in your PCI.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean. Like a invisible PCI within the PCI. Is that what you're saying?
Bingo. Yes. Bingo was his name. So yeah. So Vlad, for me, I like his swing too. Even though he's a righty, I don't like righties as much as lefties or switch. I still feel like I can turn on a pretty fast fastball with this card. All right, who's your number 7?
I'm gonna throw in Derek Jeter there.
Okay.
He is my favorite player of all time. I will note that. But I just think he plays really, really well in the game. For me, he is super fractured, so those are the attributes I'm going to go off of.
Yep.
But that's maxed out contact, 90 plus power against righties, which I think is more than enough. He's got a great swing, 100 plus power for me against lefties, maxed out clutch, of course, pretty much maxed out fielding, and then very, very good 90 speed. So I just think everything about him is tremendous. He's got the unfazed quirk, dead red, first pitch hitter, bad ball hitter, situational hitter. He's got every quirk you could want. And he's just one of those cards that plays so well. I would put him higher on the list. I really would. But, he's been in the game for a while. I kind of want to show some love to some other guys. Obviously, first year in the game, but he's been in the game since launch.
Yeah, the captain and like this card and whatever. Like I had on a spinning wheel squad, I was using like a even 87. And when I was using his 87 at the 3-hole, man, was he mashing the ball. But as soon as I moved it down to like the 8-hole, he couldn't hit like a water falling out of a boat. So there's something about putting the captain in that 3-hole. He's the leader of men.
Yeah, I think pretty much either led him off or hit him second all the time. He's at 1909 OPS for me, 201 hits, 73 home runs, 41 doubles, 8 triples. Very, very good.
Yeah, I'm a little bit less. I got 1382 OPS. So you got 600 points on OPS on me, as far as
I play BR. You got him in BR sometimes.
That's a good point. But anyways, number six for me. We talked about David Wright already. And I don't want to over talk about David Wright because then I feel like that would be wrong.
All right. I guess I'll go next then. I'm going to go with the player that you can get into your squads if you use the wild card. It is 99 Fernando Tatis Jr. I think he's right there with Jeter. The only reason I would rank him slightly higher, as I have here, is the maxed out power. And I really do think that's a difference maker, 125 clutch also. And for the same reasons you like Jeter with the defense and speed, you like Tatis. He just has more power instead of more contact to work with. No quirks brings him down, but he can also even play outfield if you wanted him to. So a bit of a bonus there for Tatis.
You know what's weird about this card? I usually hit well with Tatis cards. I hit like crap with him. Like 68 plate appearances. I hit 284. I was like,
it's gonna be he gets Quirks back next year, which is stupid. We have to wait for it, but next year.
What is your thought on vision? Because like you know the handbook says vision increases timing windows. Do you think vision's important or not?
It's never even been something I've looked at personally. Now, increasing timing windows is interesting.
Uh-huh.
I guess I would believe that, but I don't know. I feel like either you have good time or you don't. 90% of the time, it feels like you can't be just early, but just late's good sometimes. I don't know. I think it's weird. I've never noticed vision to be important at all. I've crushed with cards that have super low vision, and I think you can probably attest to this. One of the best cards is Adam Dunn for hitting every year, and his vision is never good.
Yeah, I mean, like they've changed what vision does over the last few years, right? Remember when like discipline was like how you checked your swings, and now they changed it over to vision. So I don't know. I don't know if vision's been timing windows, how long that's been that way, but yeah, I do agree with Adam Dunn. So if vision's been more favorable timing windows forever, Adam Dunn goes in the face of that. Same with like guys like Joey Gallo. He's been a community favorite with the way he's been hitting bombs for years. So yeah,
Exactly.
and I think maybe like on All Stars, we have wider time windows anyways.
For sure, for 100%.
Yeah, versus like Legend, maybe it matters a little bit more. All right, I think Tatis is a good one. He definitely did not make my list, as I hated Tatis. All right, my number 5 is from a category you won't even touch: catchers. Since you don't believe catchers are real people, which is
Is this Adley?
well, I went with Joe Mauer at number 5.
Oh, thought about him. Yeah,
Yeah, so
originally.
yeah, Big Joe. He's a lefty swing. Now, obviously, with the meta kind of shifting more to lefties here with the Donaldson, maybe he's not that good at this certain moment. But I got to give it to him for having pretty decent speed for catcher, along with almost maxed out fielding attributes, maxed out contact, and then really nice power.
100%. Yeah, if you're playing ranked seasons, I feel like he's absolutely got to be your choice of catcher, or maybe one or two other guys at absolute most.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Who's your number 5?
I have another card that's been in the game since launch, pretty much, or if not exactly. It is 99 Chipper Jones. I know
Whoa.
you'd have to use your wild card spot to get him in nowadays, but you just can't leave this card off your list, in my opinion. He has not maxed out hitting numbers across the board, but pretty close. Good speed, good defense, plus the switch hitting and tremendous quirks. Just every year he's got one of the best swings in the game. 2284 OPS with him. He's just, every time I would see this card pop up in BR or dragged him into my ranked seasons team, he was the guy that carried every game.
You don't have catchers. You don't have first baseman. Who the hell is ahead of Chipper Jones for you? I'm interested. Why is he only 5, by the way? Is it
The reason comes down to like the Jeter Tatis thing is the fact that he is set 1 and you would have to use your wild card spot. In terms of just pure being awesome, he might be the best or second best card in the entire game in the infield, but I'm factoring in since day 1 set 1, and I'm down weighting that a little bit.
I guess that makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, this Chipper.
But it doesn't make him any less good. I think all these guys at the top, it's tough to differentiate. The switch hitting obviously would make him rise, but I pushed some other guys up who are set 2 and beyond.
I hate pitching to this guy. One of my most feared at bats every single game. This is basically a creative player, and yeah,
Pepe Alazar with a good swing.
Yeah, he's insane, and so I have him higher, but I respect the set 1 restriction on him. What do you feel about sets this year? Do you like him?
I think it's stupid.
Short, simple.
Credit to them for trying to be creative. Yeah, I think it's blown up in their face. I think people are as bored now as they've ever been because we've had 99s completely through a team for the entire year, and they're reusing cards. Like, what's the point? We're gonna take away 97 Chipper to give you 98, or pick your poison there. Pick your player.
Go from 99 Trout to
what's
97.
The point?
Yeah,
exactly. Like, what is the point of that? I don't know. I think It didn't even sound cool, by the way. There were whispers of this, maybe in, I would say, late fall to early winter, that this could be coming for the new game. And he said, "Oh, that's surely they're not going to do that. Surely we're misunderstanding or misinterpreting." And nope, they did it, and I think it sucks personally. I don't know how you feel about it.
I 100% agree. This is one of those things that, like, I get you want to innovate, but, like, here's the thing. What I find wrong with MLB The Show is,
Trying to reinvent the wheel here.
yeah, they change the things we like for no reason.
Yeah. That's their favorite thing to do. They do it every year. And a lot of the moves have been less consumer friendly, like you've pointed out. And I think the real first big domino, for me at least, what I think about is changing the quick sell values on the live series cards. They made investing completely null and void, and that takes away a huge part of stub making. And 95 Acuna is 17K live series, for example.
Yeah, he's one that I bought a bunch at like 10 or 11K. And, like, yeah, you're right. I mean, live series died this year, which sucks. I mean, I love, like, I think they got it wrong in the fact that they thought they needed more excitement for the new game. Like, we're gonna blow them out with crazy stats right away. We don't need that. All we need is, like, they can literally just launch with live series alone, and we would be jazzed as hell to play a new MLB The Show. And
this game, and I think Madden kind of went that way. I'm not sure where it is now, but they really made you commit to a full-time job on MLB The Show, grinding if you wanted a lot of these cards.
Yeah.
They took away more ways to make stubs. And whether for me it's I don't want to, or if you go to school, have a job, you don't want to come home and just grind team affinities or whatever it is every program all day. You know, I don't really think you can get it playing naturally in any type of a time. I've been playing naturally, and the highest percentage I have on a team affinity right now is 35%. For season 3. It would be higher if I, was really trying to get it. But the fact that I'm not even close to halfway there, just trying to play the game naturally, I think is a problem. I know I could definitely do it more quickly if I wanted to, but I don't want to just spend my life grinding away on MLB The Show offline.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like,
it's stuff.
They missed the mark, and obviously this is a top 10, but I guess this is a bitch session here. They missed the mark.
My bad.
No. I like it. I like it. Sorry, I want for the listeners. They missed the mark in the fact that these grinds, team affinities, they need to be something that's like additive on the grind and the fun that you have in the game. If people enjoy grinding Conquest, they need to be able to complete this stuff through Conquest. If people need to enjoy grinding online, they need to be able to complete team affinity through online and etc. And I get it having some restrictions, but like, I got a lot of stubs, and I wish I could just buy some of these cards so I didn't have to grind and get
exactly.
What's that?
I say exactly. I really could not agree more with that.
Yeah. So like it's just frustrating, and you're right. I don't want to spend my the third time doing it too. Right? Like I did it the first time, 100%
exactly.
of it. Second time, they're asking me to do the same thing again, and I just like. I threw my hands up, and I can't, dude. I'm just gonna play with cards that I buy now. It just sucks. Jose Ramirez is one of my favorite cards.
It's funny, they think we're gonna want to do this for set 4, set 5, set 6, and beyond. I got bored of it by set 3 easily. I'm not doing another team affinity grind. There's no way. I'm not doing another moment this year. It's not happening.
Oh shit, dude. Yeah, it is what it is. It's just. Hopefully they change it going next year, and like Team Affinity is great. Like it used to be so good in 20. I don't know. People are mad that people got done with it too quickly and stuff, but like man, they could have done like just minor tweaks. Regardless, all right. Who's my number 4? My number 4 is another catcher, Adley Rutschman.
Very good.
Yeah, really nice. A switch hitting catcher. End game. Except for he's going to rotate out. He's only going to be out for set 5, to be fair. But the pile of attributes is wild, and that's all I got to say about that. Anything you want to say about Adley? Because I know you don't have him on your list.
Yeah, just switch hitter is really valuable. I personally just prefer like righty-righty a lot of the time. Sometimes, righty-lefty or lefty-righty. My brain just doesn't operate the same way picking up pitches. So I don't always prefer switch hitters the way you'd naturally think. Just my approach, which is unfortunate. I really wish I did. But yeah, he's a freak. I've used him a little bit. He's very good.
Yeah, I think was it Brev or Gunsky said something similar to that. I think it was Brev. He said he likes guys that bat like if you go with like an entire right-handed lineup, your opponent's
Yeah.
only going to be able to attack you like through their one method. Like guys that only have so many ways of pitching people. And like so like if you only have righties and they only throw righties against you, you're gonna expect hard in, soft away, and that's gonna be like the whole game, right? Sometimes maybe
That's a really good point. I never thought about like seeing the same sequencing to every single batter in your lineup. But
yeah,
I guess naturally it's kind of worked out that way. But yeah, getting all nine and then it's pretty much basically the same at bat every time. I like that.
yeah,
It's an
yeah.
interesting way to think about it.
So yeah, your point about preferring righty, and there it is. Yeah. So who's number 4?
I've got the 99 Josh Donaldson, bringer of rain,
Wow.
Yankee legend. And
Number
he's just one of
4.
those guys that plays so well.
Okay.
Do you think this is low for him or high? I mean, or
I
low?
think it's well, okay. The way that you he's nowhere near Chipper in my mind, but the set one thing for you is crazy. But I think the thing about this Josh Donaldson, his cards have always been so good, but this one was so ass for me.
Oh.
I'm hitting 172.
I think that might be a skill issue.
That is clearly something wrong.
Yeah, this card, and a lot of people I've talked to, by the way, consider this to be about the best hitting card in the game, which seems weird when you talk about Chipper and some of these other guys, but contact is 110 plus, power is 105 plus against righties, 125 against lefties, maxed out clutch. Defense is really good, speed's fairly good at 58, and he can play first base and shortstop. Shortstop Josh Donaldson as well. Like you could do that if you wanted to. And just historically, one of the best swings in the game. No Quirks sucks, but you don't even notice it when you're using him, in my opinion. And I am someone that prefers righty, right?
Yeah.
So I might naturally prefer a guy like Josh Donaldson to Chipper Jones.
That's
Even though they're both incredible, and Chipper on the surface looks better for sure. And I'm again, like if I had to do a draft building the best team in the game, am I choosing 99 Josh Donaldson or 99 Chipper? I think Chipper probably gets a slight edge in terms of being better, but the fact that you have to use your wild card on him if you want to use him in ranked seasons, I think pushes Donaldson ahead on my list.
yeah, no, it's fair. It's your list. I don't wanna take it away from you. It's like it's your soup, and you can have it. I'm not gonna.
No soup for you.
There we go. Yeah, I think Donaldson. You're right. He's like I think he's a pull or extreme pull hitter. I think it might be extreme pull. So I do agree. He's always had a nice swing, but for some reason, I couldn't jive with this guy. So 30 at bats, I tossed him back into the void, and he's off my team. But I think I think you're right on him generally. Maybe it was too small of a sample size, but he didn't do it with me in so many 99s that I could just move on to somebody else and just use Chipper there instead. My number 3 is Ellie De La Cruz.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we've talked about who I got a spot ahead of him. I know you're a big Ellie lover. Like you guys should get a room for how much you love Ellie. Isn't he on like your
Stop glazing.
Is he on your like fantasy team or something? You'd be like, oh my god, Ellie. Anyways,
He is, but that's not
relevant
totally
here.
why I like. He's also unbelievable. I'll tell you my numbers with his 99. 11 doubles, 2 triples, 18 home runs out of his 39 hits, hitting 639, 672 on base, 1770 slug for a 2442 OPS. He bangs. Maxed out. He is also like Pepe Alazar with a good swing.
Yeah, a switch hitter with that. And so I think the downside here is 6'5". He's got a bigger zone, which
More pitches to hit.
I like your glass half fullness. This is not a side of Bengal I see very often.
I do like to swing. I don't like to walk.
That's
But
right.
I will. If you played me in BR, I'll take a walk.
We're fucking gamers. Of course we don't like to walk. We're stuck in our chair all day. Yeah. 5-tool superstar. Like this is not a knock against Ellie having him number 3. I think he's insanely good. Best shortstop in the game. Best second baseman in the game. But I fear a couple a little bit more than him, and so that way he's 3. But I understand your reaction. Who's your number 3?
My number 3 is basically Josh Donaldson with quirks, in my opinion, and that is the 99 Austin Riley.
Ooh.
Can play third base, first base, left field. He has 120 contact right, 116 left, 106 power right, 125 left, and 120 clutch. That is Josh Donaldson pretty much. Like very, very similar attributes with very good fielding, 77 speed for Austin Riley, plus every quirk you could ask for. Homebody, night player, first pitch hitter, unfazed, breaking ball hitter, rally monkey, table setter. He is so good.
Yeah, I haven't used this card yet, but I know Riley's... he's had a good swing. I liked his live series swing when I tried it out. And I do not disagree with you. I feel like there's a lot of guys like Austin Riley, so he didn't make my top 10. He made my honorable mentions, which is why I didn't want to put my honorable mentions, because then people would be like, oh, Austin Riley's there? What are you doing? You're crazy. Would have spoiled it. But no, I think a very good card. I am not going to hate on you for putting him number 3. Yeah, being a set 3 means he's going to be around for a little bit longer. But yeah, good choice at 3 for Austin. And there's not really like that's the thing about these cards and all these 99s. It's hard. You can't really knock guys that much. Bengal, you there?
Yeah, I thought you were going to segue into the next one.
Oh, okay. I was worried I
Great
lost
chemistry as always.
Yeah, number 2 is Chipper Jones for me. I fear going against Chipper more than I fear going against Ellie as a pitcher on the mound. And so that's why he made number 2. Literally the only reason is like this guy has burned me so much. I feel like it's I don't know, like a pyromaniac, I guess, with how much he's burned me. So he's my number 2. And my number 1, we'll get to him in a second, but Chipper's Chipper.
I wonder if it's my number 2.
Let's see your number 2.
I'll tell you, Ellie De La Cruz is my number 1.
Okay.
My number 2, that leaves what is probably the other best card in the game, J-Ram.
Yeah.
Yeah,
number 1
so good. And it's the swing for him too. Everything he hits is a home run.
Yeah. This is I think he's by far the best. Because he's a pull hitter on a switch. Most switch hitters are all whole field. There's a few. Alberto Mondesi's a pull hitter on a switch, and then this Jose Ramirez card. I feel like just getting your PCI near it, it's like home run. And I'm so pissed that I can't use him outside of BR because I'm not gonna grind TA3. Man, what can't you say about Jose? I mean, good speed, good defender, and the single best bat in the game. And he was the best bat in the game last year too, right? Oh, you didn't play a lot last year. Yeah, his was it finest was just wild. So yeah, Jose Ramirez. Something else.
Yeah, I prefer Ellie. One, because my numbers are slightly better with Ellie. 2338 OPS for J-Ram. Ellie's for me is like 2442, I think I said. And I don't mind the height. Like, it's two polar opposites in terms of height for these switch hitters. 6'5" versus 5'9". You know, it's almost like Judge versus Altuve. Not quite as extreme, right? But yeah. I think it depends what you want. And ideally, you'd get them both into a lineup. So there are ways to do it. Both incredible. If you had to face a team with any of these top 5 guys we've mentioned, and particularly the switch hitters, you know, you'd be in for a really, really awful time facing like J-Ram, Ellie, and Chipper back to back to back in a lineup. Like you're probably not going to come away with a 1-2-3 inning.
And then like you throw in Mantle and Adley Rutschman there to follow up too. Like you're just going to be, I mean, ranked. Luckily there's a counter right now for those hitters in Donaldson, but rank's got to be hell for pitchers otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. I think you know, they're lucky we haven't seen a great Mark Teixeira in the game yet. He has not been in there, or I don't know. Was Neil Walker a switch hitter? I think he was.
Yankee legend. Bias there, maybe?
Not at all. Although Tim Raines, by the way, that's another guy we throw in there. I hope he made the outfield video.
I don't recall. I don't think so. What do you like about Tim Raines?
Yankee legend. He's good and can play second base. I should have got him on the list. switch hitter, speed,
What
contact.
what's his
Played for
highest?
the Yankees.
What's his highest card?
97 for the Nats, aka Expos.
Why can't I find it? What the H?
His name is Rock.
I got one of them dumb names.
You don't think that's super cool that you up to bat Rock?
Oh, hello, fellow kids. Let me hop off my skateboard and tell you how cool nicknames on the cards are. So it's so hard to search. Yes, it's.
The only awful part about using him is every time I face paper, I get out.
No, I shouldn't have laughed at that. I'm not rewarding that behavior. You don't like my stupid jokes, you son of a bitch.
I love him. I don't like him. You're right. I love him.
But I'll tell you, he fucks up scissors though, dude. So look out. Never mind. Let's move on to the final time. My last honorable mentions. What do you think about Trey Turner? Everybody loves him.
Take it or leave it.
Really?
I've never really loved his cards. I think he's fine.
Huh. Babe Ruth also didn't make my list for first base because
I never really liked his swing.
It's because he's a whole field swing, and it annoys me. How do they make the SWAT whole field? He should be a pull or extreme pull, like dude. And they're looking like Shohei. I don't want them to change Shohei because I like his swing, but dude's probably the best inside out hitter I've ever seen in my life. Dude takes balls like off the plate on the inside and puts them over like the left center field wall. And he's like, yeah, that's a pull hitter. It's like, what? Like, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think about Shohei and pull versus what would you describe Ohtani as far as a hitter?
In real life?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably he has his most power to left center. It almost feels like.
Yeah.
Obviously has pulled some balls ridiculously hard, but yeah, he's a guy that can really, hit it out to anywhere. In my ideal world, that matters less. And because you see guys hit pitches everywhere, like maybe their hot zones would matter more, but I don't really like that. I don't know. I just think if you square it up with the correct timing, you should get proper exit velos, which means, hitting any pitch if you have the correct timing and PCI placement.
Is it just Ohtani's just such a freak of nature? Like, because, okay, if you're just late on an inside pitch in this game, it's not going to go over the left center field wall at all with Ohtani. It's going to be like a weak fly out. So, like, how do they model Ohtani? And how do they... I mean, you'd think it'd be on their swing, like swing differences and stuff on his player model. But, like, it's clearly not that way.
Yeah, I would say they have to weight power more. Not to be confused with Paramore for bangers, but Shohei Ohtani, power should matter more. If you have 125 power versus right and you square up that pitch, maybe you should actually be able to crush it. But at the same time, that gets into another issue of, well, if you're a pitcher and you throw a fastball in the inside part of the plate and the guy's late on it, do you really want to be allowing home runs on that? I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, I think
baseball's a tough sport to make completely competitive in a video game.
I mean, that's what the money's for, right? That's what we give them all the stub money for. It's to do it.
I don't know if it's going to good use, honestly. Not sure. They're still just a small indie studio with no resources, right?
Yes, Sony's such a small company. You are absolutely correct.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Ohtani just needs to be different. Allow him and like only him and maybe a couple other hitters that have shown to take balls off the inside plate the other way. Give them that ability.
That could be a quirk. That's easy to me. That's an easy fix. Put it as a quirk, inside out hitter, boom.
Yeah.
And then you can have worse swing time and you can be a little bit late on inside pitches. And then everyone's gonna have Shohei Ohtani. I'm gonna beat him with fastballs and it won't matter.
Boom. I like that idea. I really do. Quirks are I feel like are so underused that they hopefully will expand it. I hope they don't go to like 2 power level like abilities of Madden, but yeah, it's not bad.
Then it's like playing one of those like Japanese like cartoon baseball games.
I thought you were gonna go like Pokemon. Everybody calls Madden Pokemon with all of our abilities and stuff.
Never seen it. Never played it.
You never played Pokemon?
Nope.
Did you not have a childhood?
No, no, I guess not.
You
I
were
guess that's
you.
what defines it, if I played Pokemon or not.
It does, dude. What did you do in your childhood if you were not?
Ate sand and shit. Rocks, maybe.
I should
Tim
probably end this
Raines.
video. All right, everybody. That was Bengal. He of little childhood. Well, that was loud. I'm opening a pack and my controller vibrated. That wasn't anything else. Anyways,
Yeah, I was gonna ask if that was your controller or well, it doesn't matter.
any other mechanical vibrating tools on my desk? Power drill.
What you do in your spare time is your business.
All right, bye everybody.